Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praises are Allah's, Lord of the worlds, and may His peace and blessings be upon our Master, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and his pure, immaculate Ahlul Bayt. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So inshallah, tonight is the last of the series of speeches. I've enjoyed my time with the brothers and sisters here. Thank you for being very patient with these sensitive themes. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. That was the story we covered last night. That Jibreel appeared before Lady Maryam alayhi salam as a well-proportioned human being. And we spoke about this last night. We said here Jibreel was a vision, a tamathul of Lady Maryam. Being a tamathul of someone, it means it is in unity with Lady Maryam's soul. And only she sees Jibreel. If me and you were there, we wouldn't have seen Jibreel. But she saw it. And she was awake. She ascended whilst awake. She unveiled abstract divine data, supra-angelic realms, whilst awake. Then she converted that into barzakhi pictures. We discussed that when we spoke about Revelation. And those barzakhi pictures was Jibreel. It was the barzakhi existence of an angel which appeared as a well-proportioned human being. But only she saw it. Now, both Ayatollahs Hassanzadeh Amuli and Jawadi Amuli, they've both said that if me and you were there, we wouldn't have seen it because it's not something the physical eye can see. It's a barzakhi reality. Now, the next story, inshallah, is also another example of a tamathul. And this, inshallah, I'll be discussing Allama Tabataba'i's position on this, where he's very explicit that this story is an example of a tamathul. It's the story of Prophet Dawood, alayhi salam, chapter 38, verse 21. وَهَلْ أَتَاكَ نَبَأُ الْخَصْمِ. Has the news of the case been brought forward to you? Case being a court case with a defendant and a plaintiff. Has the news of the case come to you? إِذْ تَسَوَّرُوا الْمِحْرَابِ. When they climbed up to the mihrab. The mihrab being in the castle of Dawood alayhi salam. When the defendant and plaintiff, when they climbed up to the mihrab. إِذْ دَخَلُوا عَلَى دَاوُودَ. Recall when they entered the presence of Dawood. فَفَزِعَ مِنْهُمْ. And he became alarmed. قَالُوا لَا تَخَفْ. Don't be scared. The people there said, don't be scared. Remember with Lady Maryam, she was scared too. The angel introduced itself. With Prophet Ibrahim, we said that was an apparition with the 4 guests. He was scared too at the beginning. There was a fear. Then they introduced themselves as angels. Although this fear, khawf, la takhaf, isn't a bad thing. It doesn't compromise the infallibility of the prophets. It's not an inner fear. It's an external reaction to an event. It's a survival instinct thing. It's something natural. It's a good thing even. Even in relation to the Holy Prophet, there's a verse which says, إِمَّا تَخَافَنَّ من قوم خيانة. Fear people who are going to betray you. Fear treachery of such a people. فَانْبِذْ إِلَيْهِمْ. Break off with them, the treaty that was. Sometimes when events are bad, one doesn't have any inner fear of anyone but Allah. But as a reaction to things, it's more of a reactive response, but it's external. There's no inner fear. Anyway, قَالُوا لَا تَخَفْ. They said to Dawood, don't be scared. خَصْمَانِ. Now they're introducing themselves. We are two groups, contenders. One's a defendant, one group is the plaintiff. بَغَى بَعْضُنَا عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Some of us have oppressed the other. فَحْكُمْ. Now they're speaking with Dawood alayhi salam. فَحْكُمْ بَيْنَنَا بِالْحَقِّ. You, Dawood, judge between us with truth, with justice. وَلَا تُشْتِتْ. Don't transgress the bounds of justice. وَاهْدِنَا إِلَى سَوَاءِ الصِّرَاطِ. And guide us on the right path. The story goes like this in books of traditions, books of stories, Qisasul Quran, stories of the Quran. It was a day of rest, most probably a Saturday at that religion of that time. It was a day of rest. The castle of Dawood was protected and guarded by 4,000 soldiers. And then suddenly two groups of people climb up and enter his mihrab, his temple or his place of worship in the castle. Now it was a day of rest. He wasn't expecting anyone. He wasn't going to work. And then how could two groups of people climb the wall when there were 4,000 guards? You see? I want to drive us towards the conclusion that this is a tamathul. It wasn't an external event, according to Allama Tabatabai. There were 4,000 soldiers there. How could they get in? There was two groups without anyone finding out. If it was to be a normal discussion with Dawood, there would be no reason why Dawood would suddenly fear when they entered him. Because they would usually say, Dawood, we have two plaintiff and defendant to come to see you. But they suddenly entered without anyone. So this is most likely didn't happen in the physical world. Now, then the plaintiff and the defendant, they start speaking. Inna hadha akhi. The plaintiff is saying this. This is my brother. Lahu tis'un wa tis'una na'ja. He has 99 ewes. Ewes, E-W-E, female sheep. He has 99 ewes. Wali na'jatun wahida. And I have one. Faqala akfilniha. And my brother is saying, commit it to my care. He wants that one which I have for me to commit it to his care. وَعَزَّنِي فِي الْخِطَابِ. And he's speaking with me causing me intimidation in his speech. He's browbeating me, if you like, the way he's speaking with me. قَالَ. Then now Dawood alayhi salam comes with a judgment now. The sentence is now to be given. قَالَ لَقَدْ ظَلَمَكَ. Your brother's done you wrong. That's his sentence. بِالسُّؤَالِ نَعْجَتِكَ. By requesting you as well. إِلَى نِعَاجِكَ. In addition to his ewes, in requesting your you as too, he's done you wrong. وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْخُلَطَاءِ. Very many partners, people who work in partnership, لَا يَبْغِي بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Most certainly they oppress one another. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Save those who do righteous deeds, have faith and do righteous deeds. وَقَلِيلٌ مَا هُمْ, and they are few. So that's the sentence now that Dawood has, alayhi salam, has given. Then the Quran continues. وَذَنَّ دَاوُودُ أَنَّمَا فَتَنَّاهُ. After this event, Dawood had certitude that we, Allah, had tested him. He had yaqeen that he had been tested. This was a test. فَاسْتَغْفَرَ رَبَّهُ. He sought the forgiveness of his Lord. وَخَرَّ رَاكِعًا وَأَنَابَ. Then he went down in subservience, in a ruku position if you like, and he repented. فَغَفَرْنَا لَهُ. And we forgave him. Allah forgave him. And then a few words down, Ya Dawood, Allah is saying this. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَاكَ خَلِيفَةً فِي الْأَرْضِ. I assign you as a Khalifa on earth. The assignment came for him to be a Khalifa on earth. Now that's the story. Now, I want to go, with your permission, I want to actually read the Arabic of Allama Tabatabai, what he has said here, so that there's no confusion. Everything I've said so far, there are sources for it. But yesterday, the story of the 4 birds, I only attributed that to Imam Khomeini. Otherwise, I didn't attribute it to anyone else. And all these stories, they have a common theme to them. Now, this is one of those monumental parts in Al-Mizan. It's a lot of point here. Alhamdulillah, one of my ustads was a student of Allama Tabatabai for 7 years, private, and I did 1 volume of Al-Mizan with him only, and another book of Allamas. And being like you, born and bred here, I know what things you're interested in, the same things that I was interested in. And I want to share these things with you. But I've always said, this is one perspective. I'm not saying it's haq. As long as the perspectives are based on proper criteria, it's okay. It's possible for different variations. There's no dictatorship in Islam. But this is one of those monumental parts. And I want to read the Arabic and then translate also. Allama also believes this was a tamathul, and this will be evident here. وَمِنَ الْمَعْلُومِ, that which is evident. And before, just give you one introductory point before this. So, if the claim is that this was also in the realm of apparitions, tamathulat being in unity with the soul of Dawood. So Dawood alayhi salam was in the mihrab, place of worship. He was awake. He did ibadat. As-salatu mi'rajul mu'min. Mi'raj, salat is the believer's mi'raj. And people have undergone mi'rajes, and they've described what mi'rajes are. As-salat, it's open for me and you too. During salat we can undergo mi'raj. Here, Prophet Dawood, in the place of worship, whilst awake, doing ibadat, he ascended. The physical body was there though. He ascended. He unveiled abstract immaterial data, then converted that into barzakhi images. Those barzakhi images, in this case, was the test, the whole saga of the court case. It was a test that Allah was giving Dawood. In the realm of apparitions, Allah speaks to his intermediaries through apparitions. Here it was through a test. Sometimes with Lady Maryam it was, you're going to have a child. With Ibrahim it was something else. Different prophets, but they're intermediaries. They receive Allah's words through these tamathurat. Here, the tamathulat, which is a result of Dawood's ascension, when he converted that unveiled kashfi data into barzakhi images, barzakh, the realm of tamathulat, the realm of apparitions, it was the barzakhi images of two groups running up, coming into the mihrab and describing him the case. My brother did this, my did that. In the realm of tamathulat, Dawood gave the sentence. Everything was in the realm of tamathulat. Now, pay very close attention to the words of Allama Tabatawi. This is in Tafsir al-Mizan, under verse number 38, chapter 21. Alhamdulillah, we have strong people in the brother section and the sister section who know Arabic very well. You can, if you don't understand my words, then go to them, they'll explain it to you. وَمِنَ الْمَعْلُومِ, that which is evident is this. أَنْ لَا تَكْلِيفَ فِي ظَرْفِ التَّمَثُّلِ, there's no duty in the medium, in the realm of tamathulat. Duty does not exist. Kama, in the same way that la taklifa fi alam al-ru'ya, in the same way there's no duty in the realm of dreams. If I commit a sin in my dreams, whatever the sin, it's not a shari'i sin. It doesn't qualify as a sin because it was in the realm of dreams. Duty does not qualify there. There is no duty in the realm of dreams. No one will be punished for what they've done in their dreams. Allah is saying in the same way that there's no duty in the realm of tamathulat, in the same way there's no duty in the realm of dreams, there's no duty in the realm of tamathulat. وَإِنَّمَا التَّكْلِيفُ فِي عَالَمِنَا الْمَشْهُودِ, duty only resides in our sensible and perceived by the senses, in our sensible realm, i.e. this world, the dunya. Duty only exists in the dunya. There's no duty in the realm of apparitions. There's no duty in heaven. وَهُوَ عَالَمُ الْمَادَّةِ, so there's no duty in our realm, which is sensible, and that is the material, the physical world. The duty is only there in the physical world. In our sensible realm, duty only exists there. وَلَمْ تَقَعُ الْوَاقِعَةُ فِيهِ, and this event of Dawood did not occur in this realm, the material realm. That's very explicit. وَلَا كَانَ هُنَاكَ مُتَخَاصِمَانِ, there was no plaintiff or defendant there in the material world, in the external physical world. You see, it didn't happen in the physical world. There was none of that there. وَلَا نَعْجَةَ وَلَا نِعَاجَةَ, there was no you, there were no yous, إِلَّا فِي ظَرْفِ التَّمَثُّلِ, save in the realm of apparitions. Is this clear? Save in the realm of apparitions. There was no new female sheep in the physical world. فَكَانَتْ خَطِيئَةُ دَاوُودَ فِي هَذَا الصَّرْفِ مِنَ التَّمَثُّلِ, the error of Dawood alayhi salam occurred in this medium, i.e. the tamathul. Min tamathul, the min is explaining which realm. The error of Dawood occurred in the realm of tamathulat. وَلَا تَكْلِيفَ هُنَاكَ, and there's no duty there in the realm of tamathulat. So you see, here the Urafa have a different aspect here. Whereas some scholars, it doesn't matter, we don't need to reject them, but as long as we appreciate the different views here, they say it was tarka ola, they say it happened in this world. Well, if it was tarka ola, the Urafa don't like tarka ola. They don't like it when you ascribe tarka ola to ma'soom prophets. Once you say tarka ola, finish now. It can now, whatever any prophet does, well, maybe that was tarka ola. Maybe that was tarka ola. Where are you going to stop? Thank you very much. See, this occurred in the realm of tamathulat. Those tamathulat, those apparitions, those visions in unity with the soul of Dawood. But there's no taklif there. It was neither tarka ola, and it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a sin. It wasn't the second best action. These things don't even qualify here. If you do want to insist it was tarka ola, take the tarka ola in the realm of apparitions. Okay, that's another thing. These apparitions, this one was like the apparition of Lady Maryam, alayhi salam, where there the apparition was that of Jibreel. Here, Ayatollah Jawadi Amali, today a brother told me to read a few of Ayatollah Jawadi Amali's tafsir lectures on Suratul Isra. And I did read it. And actually it was very beneficial. I mean, I attended 1 year of Ayatollah Jawadi's lectures, not on this chapter, on something else. And I benefited a lot, and when I'm attributing things to him, I've heard it personally. But anyway, I did read this, and there was some interesting points I just want to mention. Here he says, and in the middle, it was in Farsi. Here, I'll go into the Farsi mode with your permission and then translate. It will mention the story of Lady Maryam alayhi salam, but before that, there's a reference to the Mi'raj, where he's quoting his Ustad Allama Tabatabai, saying, did he see the prophets with the external eye? Because although with the Mi'raj, inshallah, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm coming back, inshallah, for the 10 days of Muharram. There, I can speak of the Mi'raj. Inshallah, thank you. Inshallah, I can speak about the Mi'raj in detail there. I was never planning to speak about the Mi'raj here. Or we can speak about Raj'at, Mahdawiyat. If you give me some ideas what you like me to speak about, I can tune myself to your likes. Here, he's saying, quoting from Allama, and then in his own words, Ayatollah Hassan Zadeh is saying, because in the Mi'raj, in chapter 17, the Mi'raj is only in relation to the horizontal Mi'raj, from Masjid al-Haram, Mecca, to Masjid al-Aqsa. That was all in this world. It was all in the physical realm. And there, the Mi'raj was a physical Mi'raj. There's no problem there. And in session 3 of those tafsir classes, Ayatollah Jawadi Amali does mention that. And there's no problem because it was in this world. With the physical body, he went, very great speed, no problem. There, he saw all the prophets and all the messengers prayed behind him. It's here which Allama Tabatabai makes a criticism on some people who say that was also physical, because from Masjid al-Aqsa there, it was the vertical Mi'raj. That was not a physical, it was bodily, but the body wasn't a physical body, because it was outside this realm. In each realm, we have a body. In this realm, that body is physical. In other realms, we still have a body, but it's not physical. It's not a physical realm anymore. Did he see the prophets with the external eye? Seeing Ibrahim, what does that mean? He's quoting Allama now. He's saying that Allama is saying, when you say he saw Ibrahim alayhi salam, what do you mean? Did he see Ibrahim with the physical eye? Then he says, Shoma nacharid بگویید این یک تمثل برزخی است. It's inevitable in relation to the seeing of Ibrahim. It's inevitable that this was a barzakhi tamathul. با آن چشم برزخی می‌بیند. One sees with the barzakhi eye Ibrahim. He saw Ibrahim, he saw the messengers. All the messengers prayed behind him. But it wasn't a physical event. It all occurred in the realm of barzakh. It was in the realm of apparitions. دیگری در کنار انسان ایستاده است نمی بیند. Someone who's sitting beside him then, at that time, would not see Ibrahim and the other prophets. Like that you wouldn't see, like Lady Maryam, if you were with her, you wouldn't have seen Jibreel. It was in unity with Maryam's soul. نظیر آنچه برای حضرت مریم رخ داد. This vertical ascension, during which he saw Ibrahim and all the messengers, exactly like what happened with Lady Maryam. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهُ بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. This is very explicit. Ayatollah Jawadi is saying this. It happened in the realm of apparitions too. وجود خارجی دارد. منتها خارج مثالی نه خارج مادی. It's a reality. Jibreel was a reality. Ibrahim, the messengers, were a reality during the Mi'raj. But it was a mithali, barzakhi reality, not a maddi, physical one. Now, this next part, now continuing from Allama Tabatawi, continuing where I had left off in Allama Tabatawi, in that part, in relation to what happened with Prophet Dawood. He says, what happened with Dawood didn't exist in the physical world. It was in the realm of apparitions, tamathulat, and there's no taklif in the realm of apparitions. And then this is one of those golden touches of Allama in Al-Mizan. كَخَطِيئَةِ آدَمَ. After explaining the error of Dawood alayhi salam, he says, like the error of Adam alayhi salam. Now, I had read Al-Mizan in English and Farsi before being taught Al-Mizan. And I thought, I would understand it. But when we were taught, it's a totally different story with the Ustad. And then I had read that story of Adam many times, but I had lost the key. The key was never there. Here Allama opens it up. He speaks about the error of Dawood, saying it wasn't any duty in the realm of apparitions. Then he says, like the error of Adam, alayhi salam, Adam, fil Jannah, in heaven. Those who were here yesterday, that very delicate tradition, if you recall, where the Holy Prophet during his Mi'raj went to heaven, ate the apple. The barzakhi apple was converted into sperm. And then from there was a hubut here to this on earth. When he ascended, he was on earth. What does hubut mean? A preoccupation from that realm. Now he's occupied in this realm, coming back on this realm. Pay careful attention here. Like the error of Adam alayhi salam fil Jannah, in heaven, the barzakhi heaven, but that he explains elsewhere. Min akli shajara, when he ate from the tree. Allahu Akbar. The story of the tree, Hawa, Iblis, it was an apparition of Adam. He ascended, he unveiled data, converted it. This was converted into barzakhi pictures, which also was a test. This was a test for Adam in the realm of apparitions. قبل هبوط إلى الأرض, before coming down on earth. وتشريع الشرائع, before the legislation occurred. وجعل التكاليف, before takalif, duty was assigned. There was no duty in the realm of apparitions. واستغفاره وتوبته مما صدر من كاستغفار آدم وتوبته مما صدر من. The istighfar which Dawood alayhi salam did was like the istighfar that Adam did. And then he ends by saying وَقَدْ سَرَّهَا اللَّهُ بِخِلَافَتِهِ فِي كَلَامِهِ كَمَا سَرَّهَا بِخِلَافَةِ آدَمَ فِي كَلَامِهِ. Then Allah made explicit the khilafat of Dawood after that test, in the same way he made explicit the khilafat of Adam after that test. إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Now, what was the test about? It was a preparatory stage for the status of Khilafah. With Adam, he had to learn something through this test in the realm of apparitions. There's no need to say Tarka Ola, there's no need to say error. Here Imam Sadiq has opened that up. I don't want to open it, it'll take too much time here. With Dawood, it was in a preparatory stage for his Khilafat as a Khalifa.
Excuse me.
Yes.
What was the mistake of Dawood?
Oh, sorry, I should have explained that before. So, in the realm of apparitions, the one with one ewe, the female sheep, that one female sheep actually was property of the one who had 99. That was the mistake.
I wanted to be one, to add it to the 99, to be...
Yes, no, that one was his. The one who had 99, he had 100. It was his.
It was his.
Yes. But Dawood said, he has wronged you. That was the error. But in the realm of tamathulat, if that error was made in this physical realm, it would have been a sin, a mistake at least. It would have compromised the ismat of the prophets. So that's another important story which I wanted to share. Now, there's one last story. I think we have time. So this is the story of Lut, Prophet Lut alayhi salam. And here, Al-Mizan again with one phrase. It's possible, it's legitimate to extrapolate from that. Here too, it was a tamathul. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it is suggesting that. Now, what happened with the people of Lut? Well, the people, the tribe of Lut were, to start off with, originally they were very pious people, very religious. And the traditions also mentions some attributes that they had. They would always work in congregation, for example. They were very hospitable. What happened for such a people to turn to not only homosexual behavior, but violent, aggressive homosexual behavior? They wouldn't even spare a passerby. They would grab him, take him, and execute what they would execute. Viciously, violently. It wasn't pretty. The traditions go through the different phases they went before they reached such a stage. And the traditions are actually very graphic. And Al-Mizan also mentions them. But with your permission, I won't go through those details. Now, their prophet was Lut alayhi salam, and he would guide them and do his best to bring these people to the right path. With prophets, anbiya, if they see someone has an iota of probability that they will come on the right path, they wouldn't let go. They would always try. They would never go into despair. They would do their best. They're prophets of people, whether religious, non-religious, everyone. They're prophets of everyone. Imams, though, not only if they see imams, though, many prophets were imams too, but those who have a status of imamat, not only if they see an individual who has a probability of change, not only would they guide them, but with imams as manifestations of the attribute al-batin, even if they see, because they were in unity with Allah's knowledge, if they would see someone down the line, many generations down, of someone who's a non-believer, but someone way down, many generations down, a family member is going to accept the walaya, they would not harm them. And they would let them go, even though the person themselves there was no hope with. And this happened in Karbala and in the Battle of Siffin. Amir al-Mu'mineen, in the Battle of Siffin, Hazrat Abbas was there, alayhi salam. Malik Ashtar was there, many people were there, and they were all battling and killing people, the enemy. But then they would see Amir al-Mu'mineen, some people he would kill, some people he wouldn't. What was all that about? They inquired. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam said, no, way down the generation, there's going to be a lover of the Ahlul Bayt. The prophets didn't have that, but the prophets who had imamat, they had that. The same happened in Karbala. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, you would see he would refrain from killing some people. Yes, okay. So, Hazrat Lut was a prophet and he did his best to guide his tribe. They were active, viciously, aggressively in these abnormal behaviors, but he would still do his best. He wouldn't do his second best. It was all trying to put them on the right path. I mean, his counseling and advising wouldn't put his own iman at any risk. He wouldn't be threatening his own faith because he was a ma'soom. So he would give it his full 100% resolve. Now, we'll start the story from here. That Prophet Lut alayhi salam was in the farm outside the town doing farming. Suddenly 4 angels, but 4 young men appeared before Lut. It was the same 4 who was with Ibrahim. And the traditions mentions their name. Jibreel, Mikael, mentions the 4 names. Israel wasn't one of them. I just keep on forgetting the 4th one. I think it's Karubin, something like that. I'm not sure. It was the same 4. But with Ibrahim, the 4 angels we spoke about last night, they were barzakhi images of angels in unity with the soul of Ibrahim. Here, same 4 angels, but in unity with the soul of Lut alayhi salam. The same Jibreel. Not that they were physical angels, according to Ayatollah Hassan Zadeh Omri. Not that they were, and Jawadi Omri. Not that they were physical angels, and then they would travel physically now to Lut. That's not the case. If you believe in that, it's okay, but it's not the position I'm preaching here. So he saw them. Now in the beginning he thought they were 4 young men. He didn't realize they were angels at first. On seeing these 4 young, beautiful men who were dressed as guests, he said, "Hadha yawmun asib." This is going to be a distressing day. Because he knows what the people of the town are like. He's seeing 4 men dressed as guests, wanting to pass by. He said, this is going to be a day of burden. So he said, what do you want? They said, we want to go to town and speak with the chief there. He said, there's no need. You can speak with me. There's no need to go there. They said, no, we have to go. We've been sent on a mission. He said, do you know what these people are like? He said, it doesn't matter. They said, we want to go there. Because Dawood thought, these were actual physical people. Lut alayhi salam thought. So he was fearing that these vicious, aggressive people will take these 4 guests. So he said, okay, if you really want to insist to go at night. So that no one sees you. He said, no, we want to go now. So Dawood went with them. Now Dawood now is in his house. Lut, sorry. Thank you. I think it's getting tired now. So Lut alayhi salam said, okay, let's go, I'll go with you. So they went to the residence of Lut. The 4 guests were there. He still hadn't realized that yet what's happening, that these were angels. Now, here the traditions vary. There are 2 different stories in the traditions. It doesn't matter which one's more accurate, but the end result is the same. Some say that when this happened, when the 4 guests, which were barzakhi angels, but in the form of human beings, when they came, the wife of Lut, who sympathized with those aggressive tendencies of the tribe, saw the 4 guests and notified everyone, and everyone came. And everyone else saw the 4 guests of Lut alayhi salam. Now we'll come why they saw it in a minute. Another tradition says that a child got stuck in the well. The people wanted some advice on how to get the child out. They went to the Prophet to get advice. Suddenly they saw the 4 guests. So whichever the variation is, we have now a set of the tribe, small city, small town, all assembling outside the house, gradually increasing in number, seeing the 4 guests. Now how could they see the 4 guests? And why should they see the 4 guests? If you remember with Prophet Ibrahim last night, we said Lady Sarah also saw the 4 guests. But that was in unity with the soul of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Here we gave 2 probabilities. None of them I'm suggesting is a fact, but I want to speak based on criteria here. What's possible, what's not. Either Lady Sarah had seen, because of her increased spirituality, in the same way Amirul Mu'mineen would see the angels when others couldn't, during revelation, or it was the Velayatul Takwini of Ibrahim which allowed Sarah to see. In the same way that Imam Sajjad, with his Velayatul Takwini, opening his fingers, allowed a normal person to see barzakhi images of Hajis. Velayatul Takwini. Now here, there's no mention that there may be a number of other reasons how they could see. Whatever the reason was, the philosophy behind them seeing by means of Allah's Wilayatul Takwini was because of what they call Itmamul Hujjah, the final proof. It comes to an evil people. When the final proof comes and they reject it, the result is immediate punishment. And it's not a normal, natural disaster. It's a punishment which is extraordinary, like the surface area of the earth actually capsizing over someone, or something incredible. This was the final proof, the final test for these people. What would they do to the guests that they are seeing of Lut? If they even have the audacity to even attack such people, that's it now. They failed. There's no amends here. They have to be destroyed. Now, they saw the 4 guests. On seeing the 4 guests in the house of Lut, and they were outside the house, they said, "Oh, you're one of us now," in mockery to Lut alayhi salam. You've become one of us. Look at the insolence of such a comment. Prophet Lut naturally said, "No, not at all. These are my guests. Please leave us alone. These are my guests." They said, "Just give us one of them, and you can take the 3 for yourself." And then Lut was becoming a bit, said, "No, please leave. These are my guests. Please respect them," and so on and so forth. Now, the numbers are increasing over time. They're trying to find ways inside the house, becoming more and more aggressive. Then Lut, Now, continuing with the Quran here, Lut exclaimed. قال, Lut alayhi salam said, Ya qawmi, O my people, هؤلاء banati, these are my daughters. Hunna atharu lakum, they're purer for you. Fattaqullah, have taqwa before Allah, wala tukhzuni fi dhayfi, and don't disgrace me before my guests. Now this is an incredible verse with a lot of ethical lessons here. Because he's saying to the people that these are my daughters. He had many daughters. Take them in marriage. That's purer for you. To people, who are very vicious and aggressive in homosexual tendencies. Now, Allame has discussed this in depth. Very briefly, two things that he mentions in this story. He says the Sharia of that time, it wasn't haram for believing women to marry non-believing men. It wasn't haram then. And actually in the Muhammadan Sharia also, in the beginning it wasn't haram for believing women to marry non-believing men. But then during the time of the Holy Prophet, this became abrogated. That's one point.
And when Lut alayhi salam said, هؤلاء بناتي
Yes.
So he ordered and he allowed that these people marry their daughters.
Yes.
Even those
Yes.
not believers.
Yes. You're stealing my lines, yes. I'm going to say that, yes. Yes. If I just finish that, yes. Yes. So.
I mean, you said it is not allowed. But when the Prophet allowed,
No.
it was allowed.
Yes, I said it was allowed in the Sharia, yes. It's okay. Now, it's been a pleasurable 2 weeks with that gentleman. And just in case you don't know him, 40, 50, 60 years ago, I don't know, he studied Mullah Sadra with very good ustads in Iran. I think it's worthwhile to get to know him more. And it was a pleasure to know him too. Okay. So, Prophet Lut alayhi salam said, these are my daughters. Now, they are purer for you. Now, this is the superlative paradigm, purer. As if what you're doing is pure, but this is purer. You see, that's a first prima facie understanding of the term. Allame Tabatabai here says sometimes in Arabic the superlative term is used to say that the alternative action has no degree of goodness, like this action does. And it says in the Quran, says, "Ma indallah khayrum min al-lahwa." That which is before Allah is better than diversion. Not to say diversion is good, that which is before Allah is better. No, it's to say that the alternative to that which is before Allah, i.e. lah, has no goodness in it. Here too, it's not to say what they were doing was pure, but this was purer. It's to say what they were doing has no degree of purity in it. The Arabs use it, the Quran has used it, and Allama has very subtly pointed out that. But the most important ethical lesson here is the compassion of the Imams, of the Prophet. Prophet Lut offered his daughters. He really did offer his daughters. He really was willing for especially the head chiefs of the tribes to marry his daughters. If it means that they will go on the right path, no problem. His daughters of this holy prophet, they accepted his father's words. Their father's words. No problem. If it means I'll bring this man onto the right path, I'll marry them, father. No queries, no qualms. It's not like when we want to give our daughters. Well, let's look at the list and 1, 2. It's not good. It's not a good thing. not giving the daughters, giving them with difficulty. Especially when the daughter is very religious, although that's a different topic altogether, inshallah, another discussion. Now, the thing is, we too in Islam believe, hate the crime, hate the action, but don't hate the person. We believe that can be extrapolated from this verse. Okay, they were vicious and aggressive in homosexual behavior. They're homosexuals. But still, it doesn't mean the first route of action should not be compassion. Only if you, now in America, although homosexuals in this country, they're not like the homosexuals then. I mean, they're not very vicious and aggressive, or they don't rape or do any kind of that kind of thing. And inshallah, it won't ever reach that stage. But the point is this, many of your children are going to see homosexuals in school. They're going to see homosexuals at university. And the person's going to come out in the class and say, I'm homosexuality, I'm proud, I'm this and that. Now, how are you going to tell your children to encounter that situation? To say, astaghfirullah, you have to be burnt, this, that and the other. That's not the route of action, actually. It's not an Islamic state here. If you feel your iman will be compromised, yes, there's no need to associate with them. There's no need to share a room or be together during break time or whatever. But if you're confident, there's nothing wrong with showing compassion to them. They may change their way, especially if you think it's probable. There are many causes to homosexual behaviors. Many of them may change. The triggers are many things. It's not only one thing. But anyway, compassion has to be there. Now, so he said, these are my daughters. They said, we have no interest in your daughters. You know what we want, and they broke in. Now they've broken in the house. The 4 angels were there in the shape of human beings. They broke in to approach the human beings as they thought and do what they usually do. Qala, then Lut, now seeing this, seeing he can't do anything, he said his last words. Lo anna li bekum quwwatun. If only I had power to deter you from what you're doing. They're in the house now. They're going for the attack. If only I had the power to deter you. O awi ila ruknin shadid. Oh, if only I could take refuge to a mighty support. When he said those words, qalu, the 4 angels who were in the shape of human beings introduced themselves. Ya Lut, inna rusulu rabbika. We are angels sent from your Lord. The same as with Lady Maryam. Innama ana rasulu rabbiki. Or with Prophet Ibrahim said, Inna ursalna. We were sent from Allah. Here it says, Inna rusulu rabbik. We're just messengers of your Lord. There Lut now understood the whole story. What's happened here? They continued, La yasilu ilaik. They'll never reach you. Remember the hands of the angels, La tasilu ilay. When with Ibrahim, with the angels, they couldn't touch the actual food because they were barzakhi realities. Ayatollah Hassan Zadeh said that. They're barzakhi, they can't consume physical food. Even though in the Bible it's a different story to that. But here it's the angel saying, La yasilu, they'll never reach you. This is the operative clause. La yasilu ilaik. Allah in relation to this clause says, Kenayaton, it's a metaphor. This Arabic clause is a metaphor. Metaphor in Arabic. Metaphor to what? What is it alluding to? An adami qudratihim ala ma yuridun. It's a reality alluding to the fact that they aren't able to do what they want to do. What do they want to do? They wanted to attack those 4. This is why are you saying this? And that's it. That's all you say is. Why can't they attack? Why can't that thing which they wanted, why couldn't they? Because they were barzakhi realities. These physical men who failed their test, the final proof, were ready to, they didn't know they were barzakhi realities, went and made the attack, but they'll never reach them. They'll never make contact with them. And then in chapter 54, verse 37, فَتَمَسْنَا أَعْيُنَهُ. Didn't say فَأَعْمَيْنَا أَعْيُنَهُ. We blotted their sight, their eyes. Because before they would see the barzakhi realities. It doesn't have to be a physical blinding, that they became physically blind. That's not necessary. They say we blinded their eyes, we blotted their vision. Because it was for itmamul hujjah, that they were allowed to see by Allah's providential authority, wilayatul takwini. They failed the test because they were attacking, they were going to make, they failed. Then we blotted their vision. We made them not see the barzakhi realities. And they keep on touching the walls trying to find them, but they couldn't. Okay. It's been an hour. The only thing which remains now is the story of Adam, exactly into detail what exactly happened in that, which inshallah maybe another time, another place or something. Thank you very much for everything.
Could you finish the roots? What happened to them?
Since I didn't prepare for that, and it wasn't, immediate punishment came, but what kind of punishment and everything, the details I don't have ready before me. Yes, sorry about that, yes. Okay, wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala tahirin.